We're back to Mind Over Magic, and we're at our magic school, and we've left things off in a pretty good shape. I've maxed out my staff to the point that I can't hire any more staff until I build a great hall, which I need in order to build a great hall, I need to have a sculpted relief, and I haven't researched those yet. So that's a research down the line that I'm going to need. I would love to bulk up my research, which is why I started hiring a bunch of lightning initiates. And I was going to get them all working as researchers and get 2 shifts in the day and at night. But unfortunately, because I've maxed out at 8 staff members plus Stuart, my ghost, 9 staff members, I can't actually get more lightning staff members to do more research in the night. So there are a couple other avenues that we can bulk up our research. And one is we can start getting our staff members level 2 magic wands, which will increase their magic skills. And it'll let my lightning staff members have a higher lightning skill, which will then increase their research speed. So that'll get us more research. And one of the things that I'm going to research is going to let me have apprentices, which lets me train higher skilled staff members, and you can actually cross-train apprentices. So I can have an apprentice who's half dark and half lightning. And so if I do that, that would be a way for me to replace my dark staff member, for example, with a staff member who is dark and lightning, and then they could join as a lightning researcher, because right now I need at least 3 lightning skill for somebody to be able to do research. So I would like to keep making progress on research, which is going to happen no matter what I do. And I'd like to upgrade to level 2 wands now. And in order to upgrade to level 2 wands, I need to find in the underground, there is a wand transmogrifier that I need to find as kind of like a special device, which is kind of like the student summoner that lets me upgrade the wands of wizards. So I need to dig into the underground. And I probably should have been doing more of working on the underground by now, going through the dungeons, because my mages have been doing a pretty good job fighting down there. So if they're strong enough to fight, I might as well push back and try to find the device that'll let me upgrade my wands. I would push back the fog before I got going into the underground, except that I don't have the resources I need to push back the fog. And the fog's already quite a ways away. I pushed it back at the end of last session. So I would love to get rid of this thrumming headache with the Tainted Mana Lantern, but it recommends level 5, while the Lava Mine recommends level 4, while this Lava Mine recommends level 3, and the Spine, which I haven't gone in, also recommends level 3. And I don't like that my ward keeps expiring here and I'm losing the Lava Mine. So it's level 3, it should be an easy fight. I'm gonna start off by taking it back, and then once I've taken it back, I'm gonna go and fight in the other dungeon if I have the opportunity. So it looks like everybody who I would want to send down here, it's 4 different types of mages, so that gives me a good range of different magic that I'm using and different types of attack, and they're all at full health now, and so that is pretty good. I suppose I could look at the vulnerabilities. So we have a weakness to water, a weakness to lightning, and a weakness to air. So I have a air that I'm sending, but it might be nice to send a water. So David is unavailable right now because he's summoning a new initiate, so I don't think it's worth waiting for him. And I could send one of my new lightning mages, but if you recall, the ability they have isn't very good, the lightning bolt that they can send. So those 4 mages should be fine, and I'm going to send them off to begin the battle. I built an alchemist station and I never added any potions there. So I'm going to order 10, or I'm going to order 11 of each potion, and I'm going to say do until X. So anytime there's fewer than 11 potions, wizards will go there and do alchemy. And David is my water mage, so finally we're going to start using him more, and he's got a high priority on alchemy. So as soon as he's finished this, as soon as he's finished the ritual that he's doing, he should head off here and start making potions. And potions are a bit of a game changer in the dungeon. I think that's why I haven't been going into the dungeon a lot, is because once I can get potions, it's really going to change things down there. So I'm going to start up the speed, and I'm going to send these wizards down into battle, and I am going to let David finish off performing this ritual that he's working on, and then he'll start doing alchemy. And so it looks like he's summoning a student, which is great. I think he might be summoning, I think I tried to summon, oh, here comes a fog incarnation. That's not what I want. So I'm going to do the battle first, and I'm going to push back the Ember Golem, and I'm doing that so that both the enemies are in the back row, and that lets me cast spells at both of them. So the Ember Golem has a defense against fire, so I'm going to attack the fire with the Batkin instead, since it takes full damage from it. I'm going to throw Earth Armor on Horatio, and I'll let the two enemies attack him once he has the armor, because he also has a taunt. And I'm going to do multi-strike for 2 attacks at 45 damage. So that's pretty good. And they do double damage on the Patkin. So 45 twice is 90, doubled is 180. So that's going to kill off the Batkin before it has a chance to attack. And so that worked out pretty nicely as the first round. And the Golem attacked Horatio, and Horatio counterattacked. I'm not actually sure why he had counterattack, but he still has armor, and he counterattacked the Ember Golem. So that's great. And I am now going to throw Growth on the Ember Golem, and I'm doing that so that in the next round I can begin to I'm doing that so that in the next round I can begin moving him off of the thorns, and he'll take damage from it. Now, I'd like to throw a fireball at the Ember Golem, but he's resistant to fire, and he seems to have counterattack, which he does, which will make him attack Horatio, and he'll get through his armor this time if I let him counterattack. So instead, I'm going to throw Vengeance on Horatio, which is a little bit of a waste because he already had counterattack, but now it'll last a little bit longer, and I'm going to put Earth Armor on him again to get some new armor for when the Ember Golem counterattacks. And I'm going to do the 2 hits with Linus, and so the Ember Golem is counterattacking Linus, and now he's attacking Horatio, and we're taking some damage, but Horatio counterattacked. And so now I'm going to do what I was setting up, that I'm going to use the Swirling Vines, and it does damage to the Ember Golem, but then it does additional damage for moving him off of the roots that I put on him, which caused 10% of his health and damage, and that finished him off. So that worked great. And I need to deal with this fog incarnation. Geez, he came quite a ways. I didn't get much of a warning with him. So I'm going to hunt him with everybody now that they have finished. David is doing a ritual, so I guess he can't help. Everybody is attacking the fog incarnation, except for Tate. And because Tate is an initiate, they can't hunt. And so I'd love to send Tate out to attack him as well, but I can't. And so they're all working away, attacking them. And you've just seen Birdie here ran off, and it's because she's out of mana. So she's running to recharge her mana, and as soon as she recharges her mana, she's going to come back and keep attacking the fog incarnation. So here she is now. And so the fog incarnation, we've done 155 out of 375 damage to him, and he's got past us, and he's going into the room. And so if I left him, I could eventually then, he'd eventually do damage to the room if I just ignored it, or I could rest up and then I could attack him later on. But because I damaged the fog incarnated as coming, I'm going to go and attack him again. And I'm going to attack him with everyone, including Linus. I was going to pull Linus because Linus is injured, but it looks like these Lantern Keepers are susceptible to weakness. They have a weakness to air, and that's what Linus does. And so he is perfect against them. So we'll start this battle, and we're going to do another fast battle with the same 4 mages who we used. And you can see here that David is hard at work at the alchemy station, and he started making my first potion of rejuvenation. So it's finished now. We're going to proceed with this battle. I could use it, but it's going to be useful. It's going to be fine. I think I'm going to win this battle pretty quickly even without it. And so that's fine. So I could do Swirling Vine. Actually, I can only attack these 2 with Swirling Vines because I kind of have to attack the front row. But this is what I want to do because it attacks both of them. So I'm going to do Swirling Vine, which will do 100 damage on the 2 of them together. I'm going to throw Vengeance on... I was going to throw it on Linus because he does so much damage to these 2 with his air. But I'm actually going to throw it onto Horatio. Horatio already has 2 counterattack, and so does Linus. Okay, so then there's no reason giving them counterattack again. They started with that for some reason. I think I know why. I'll explain why in a second. And I'm just going to throw the fireball at the hollow one and do some damage to it. And so now I'm going to do Earth Armor on Horatio. And now I've got Linus, and I'm going to do Multi-Strike, which does 45 twice. That does 90 damage, and then doubled is 180. So this hollowed one creature has 229 health, and I'm going to do 180 damage to it. So it's left with 49 health. It's hurt pretty badly. And he just attacked, and Horatio counterattacked and killed him. And now this hollowed one attacked, and both Horatio and Linus counterattacked and left this hollow one with 1 hit point. And then we just did the same thing with the Lantern Keeper, and it has 10 health points. So they're both almost dead. So this is a good and easy fight. I'm going to throw Growth on the Lantern Keeper and finish him off, and then he has 1 health. And so I'll fire off a fireball, and that'll kill him. And that was a good, easy fight. Horatio's a little bit injured, and Linus is a little bit more injured, but we got some eyeballs, and we fought off the room that the fog incarnate caused. So now, right there, we got David to create a potion of rejuvenation, and I believe he's taking it up and he's putting it into this pantry here. And so it says that he's creating a potion of rejuvenation. So it's got to be somewhere, the potion of rejuvenation, and it looks like it's sitting right here in front of the alchemy desk. So now what I can do, and I'm not sure that I'd necessarily do this most of the time, but I can go and I can drink that to give Linus some of his health back, 50 of his health. So he's at 78 out of 204. So I'm going to send Linus down there, and he's going to drink the potion. And now he's up to 128 health. And so right now, that was the only potion that's been made. David's going to go and make some more potions. But while he's doing that, I'm just going to send them and get into another fight with them. And they're a little bit injured. Horatio's a bit injured. Linus is more injured, and the other 2 aren't. But they're going to fight against 1 hollowed one. So I think we can handle 1 hollowed one without needing the potion. And I'm going to check again, and the dark level is at 89. So I really don't want this to come back. I don't want the fog to reclaim this room. So I'm going to try to keep checking in on the underground ward here and try to understand why nobody has been renewing the ward. So we'll find out. Okay, so I've got a gremlin in my building, and he destroyed a rock, which annoys me. A stone. I can use stone. So I certainly don't want him to get that. And it looks like he's been wandering around. I have a chaotic room up here, my ritual room, and so it's the relics that have been left behind from graduating and hired initiates, and it summoned this gremlin. So I'm going to send Stuart off to hunt the gremlin and finish him off, and I'm going to put up these relics to have a 5 priority to get put into storage. And I can't store relics in a pantry, but I can store it in a chest. And this chest has a space of 10. This relic has this storage has a space of 10. This one has a space of 6, but it only takes wands. And so I think I've maxed out my storage. This storage takes 5. But it only takes things that are useful to the refining beasts. So what I am going to do is I'm going to build a new chest, and I'm going to put it in the relic room. And I'm going to give that a priority of 5. And I would really like Linus to build that because he is my air specialist. I'll give everybody else a chance to do it, but I'll fight this battle with Linus, and then immediately after the battle, I can go back to that. So, Hollowed Ones are weak to air, which is good news for me, and they're strong against lightning, and they're strong against dark, which don't matter to me because I don't have any dark magic or lightning magic here. So I'm going to throw the growth on it, and so what that means is if it survives this round, at the beginning of next round, Birdie is going to be able to... Okay, so that's funny. I don't have the counterattacks anymore. No, Horatio does have a counterattack, so that's great. What I'm going to do is if it survives to the next round, I'm going to use Birdie to push it back with the vine again, and it would have moved it off of the root and injured it. So it's all set. I was kind of setting things up to do a bigger attack next round, which didn't matter because the two Linus and Horatio could counterattack. And I said I would explain why. The reason why they are countering right now is Raven Cultists perform better in battle is the special event of the day, and Raven Cultists gain counterattack for 2 rounds when entering battle. So it just happens to be the special event today. So I'm not going to have that in the future, but I have it right now. Linus is going to eat, which I've got this chest, but I'd like to get it made. So I'm going to go and make the chest, and I'm going to let Linus hold off on eating. And I'm going to go and assemble the chest first before I'm going to let him eat, because I don't want to deal with another gremlin, and one's going to spawn in 3.7 hours. I think the gremlin is gone. Here is the chest. And so I put these all at I put these all at high priority, and so here comes a quilt to store them away. So I think they're just going to go through and store them. I have 6 hours until a gremlin gets here, and here comes another quilted, and I hope it stored something. I'm up to 5. Oh, so for whatever reason, they're storing a bunch of stone here, which is fine. They're waiting. I don't know why they aren't storing these. This says that it is... Oh, it's been selected to attune. So the issue is Tate wants to attune it, but I guess Tate is busy with other things. He's partying right now. So I'm sorry, Tate, but you really need to go and attune this if you are planning to. So I'm going to send him to the attunement bench. And the Nail of the Tinker is also selected for attunement by Ryan. So I am going to get Tate to attune one of them. And when he does that, that should hopefully unclutter. Oh, now what is Tate doing? So he's scheduled for recreation. I just gave him an order to attune it. I don't know. So I just told him again, so he's going up to attune it. So he grabbed the relic. And so now the gremlin isn't going to spawn for 8.4 hours, which is a little bit annoying, but I'll go here and let him start attuning. And so Tate is working on that. and I'm getting him to do this instead of sleeping, but that's fine. I'm going to graduate this guy soon, so I don't really care if he spends the night attuning instead of doing anything worthwhile. If I look up here, the gremlin's going to spawn in 4 hours, so I'm going to get Ryan to go and attune this relic as soon as Tate finishes off. So we're already at 56% attuned, and so Tate's going to get to 100% in no time. And so Tate was all set. He was fully trained and ready to graduate, but the relic I gave him is increasing his potential lightning skill to 4. And so that's good for him, but that means that he's now no longer fully trained because he can learn another level of skill in the to be fully trained. And so now he's going to go back and he's going to start training again. And so that took him out of the fully trained schedule and the fully trained group, and it put him back into the initiate group. And now Ryan is going to go down, and he's up all night anyway, so I'm going to get him to spend the night attuning his new relic instead of researching, which is fine. I put him on the night shift, if you recall, so that they could eat in the dining room and not be upset that they couldn't eat in the dining room. So I have sort of 2 shifts now of staff. I have the day shift, who they eat at whatever this is, 6 a.m. And I have the night shift that they eat at 5 a.m. And then the day shift eats their dinner at 6 p.m. or whatever this is, and the night shift eat an hour early when they first wake up. So they're getting 2 meals a day. All of the staff are getting 2 meals a day, but some of them are eating an hour earlier than the others, so I can make better use out of my dining room. My repel fog ritual is available again, and so I am going to push back the fog first thing in the morning, and I'm going to use maybe Utread, my new water apprentice. And Linus needs some medical rest, and so that's fine. He can do that if he wants. I believe that my wizards should start getting up now, and they're off to have their breakfast, which I'll let them eat first. And then it looks like Horatio's eating and Birdie's eating. And now Seth is eating and Quincy is eating. And so I'll let them both eat. And so it looks like everybody has finished their breakfast and is heading off to work. And so let's do the ritual again. So I'm going to do this with Utread and give him a little bit of experience because I believe Tate has full experience. And I am going to get Ryan on the ritual, and I'm going to replace Linus with Seth. So it looks like everybody's getting some experience from this ritual, which is pretty good. I can't complain about that. And if I look now at Potion of Rejuvenation, it looks like 1 more Potion of Rejuvenation was made. So that's not so much, but we can see where it was stored, and it was put into this chest up in the relic room because I guess there wasn't a lot of storage anywhere else. So if I wanted to, which I maybe do, I could send off Linus to heal himself back up to full, and they can go into battle again. And Horatio's up to full. So it looks like Linus is going to attune a relic, which is great. I think I'm actually going to let him do that. I'll let him attune the relic first, and then I'm going to send my group of 4 wizards into battle again. And I said that I was going to check in on the room with the fog ward, and I was going to find out what was going on with this. So it looks like the dark level's at 95, so somebody renewed it, I believe Stuart, and so I do have that working now where the ward is being renewed. So that is wonderful, and I'm just going to wait while Linus attunes the relic. He's already got it 25% attuned, and we will see how that goes. I'm just checking my refining beasts to see if either of them can create something new. And it looks like my midden jelly can now create meat, which is great. And I'm going to put it do until and get it to just keep making meat. and I'm going to put that at top priority because I can use the meat to make a dragon walk. And so if you recall a while back, I built up the kitchen and I put a chimney on and I put a spice rack, and then I just moved on, and it moved from a scullery up to a kitchen. So that's great. It's now a kitchen, and the next step for that is going to turn it into a fine kitchen. And for that, I need a dragon walk, which I'll be able to make once I get the meat. And I'm going to need a large spice rack, which I can get that eventually. And I'm going to need a pantry, which I already have a pantry there. And I'm going to need another chimney. So the big thing there that is going to be hard to get is a large spice rack. I haven't researched that yet. So I'm just going to ignore that until I get the large spice rack. And then hopefully I'll remember, as soon as I get a large spice rack, it's going to mean that I can upgrade my kitchen, and I should do so because poor Quincy is constantly cooking. And so if I can speed up the cooking, it will make him be able to push out more meals, which is good for everybody. So Linus has 87% attuned the relic now, and so he's rocketing along. And Utred has completed a trial, which is great. And now Linus has finished attuning it, and he has another relic to attune. And so why not? That only took him a third of the day. I'll let him attune the second relic. And I'm doing this because they're going to get experience from combat when they're fighting, and having these having these attuned will let them get experience from him going into battle, which I'm about to do. And all of the other staff, I'm not really checking in on them, but Stuart is teaching the students, and Quincy is chopping down trees, and Birdie's chopping down trees, and David is doing alchemy, which that's what I want him to do, and Horatio is chopping down trees, a lot of tree chopping, and Quentin is sleeping. So he's on the night shift, and Seth is restoring mana, but it looks like he's researching, and so he's back to researching, and Ryan, he's on the night shift, and he's sleeping, and then he'll come out and do research. So Linus got up, and he headed over to rest in the bed, and he has now attuned the other relics. So all of his relics are fully attuned, and I can go back here now. And so I have a level 4 fight, a level 5 fight, and a level 4 fight. And I think that my wizards can handle all three of those, and I'm going to do this level 4 fight just because it's kind of the closest to the entrance. Now, the next thing you can do with potions, which is worth doing, is you can assign every wizard a potion to take into battle with them when they go. And it looks like David has been hard at work, and there's 5 potions of rejuvenation and 2 potions of recharging, which is perfect. I'm going to give each of my tanks a potion of healing, and I'm going to give each of the mages at the back a potion of recharging. And so this is going to actually make my group of wizards here substantially stronger. So the rejuvenation potions heal 50 health, and the recharging potions restore 50 mana. And you might say, well, that doesn't sound like that much. But right now, Linus has 157 out of 204 health, and I can use the potion at any time to just give him an additional 50 health. So if he gets injured and he gets knocked down a little bit, I'm just going to use the health potion and heal him up. Instead of using it before battle, I can just use it in battle. So that's one thing, but it now gives Horatio another 50 damage he can take. So as my tanks, in theory, if they were fully healed going into battle, they would have their health plus 50. So it gives them a little bit more staying power. It gives them a little bit more stopping power before they're going to take damage. And so that's great. But as you've seen, as I do long fights with these, in these battles, I run out of mana. And so I do everything I can to injure the opposition, but then I get to the point where I've just hurt them as much as I can, and I'm out of mana, and those 2 potions of recharging give me an extra 50 mana. So as soon as I want to cast a spell with them, and I'm out of mana, I just drink the potion of recharging, and we're good to go. And it turns out I didn't even need any of my potions. So I just finished the fight, and they're all done, and they didn't need any of the potions. And I've opened up another level 4 fight, and I still have a level 4 and a level 5 here, and I have 2 more level 5s. And I really like the Raven Cultist performing better in battle right now. I really like that they have the counterattack, and I have more time before the end of the day. So I'm going to actually do another battle, and so I'm having a lot of battles here. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into Linus, and he keeps getting hurt. He's down from 204 health down to 127 health. So I'm going to drink the potion of rejuvenation that he took into battle, and he never drank it in battle. So I just drank it, and it gave him some health. So now I'm going to send them all into battle again, and now Linus has a potion of rejuvenation again. There were 5 of them, if you recall, and so he's just going to go and get a replacement potion of rejuvenation, and he's going to take that into battle with him again. So even though he's a little bit hurt now, less hurt because I just drank the potion of rejuvenation, I have this potion of rejuvenation to heal him if things aren't looking too good. But I just made short work of the last battle, and so I think this one's going to probably go pretty quickly as well. It's a very, very nice thing right now that Horatio's getting the automatic counterattack, because I can taunt the enemies with him, and he has a pretty strong earth attack, and so they attack him, and the attack just gets sucked up by the attack just gets sucked up by his earth, or by the armor that he has on, and then he does damage back to the creatures that have attacked him. So that is pretty nice, and I am going to attack that furry mate, and I'm going to do earth armor on Horatio, and I'm going to do multi-strike, and multi-strike is 45. I'm going to do this guy again. So I'm kind of attacking preferentially the enemies that are behind the cover, because you can't mass attack enemies behind cover, so I can't use Birdie's swirling vines against these two. They both dodge it because the attack isn't against them specifically. So right now Birdie is attacking these two over here, but in short order, Birdie is going to run out, or these two will be killed off, and then it's going to be an issue for Birdie. I have Vengeance again, and Birdie seemed to be taking some damage there from the mass attacks. So I'm going to actually put a counterattack on Birdie so that she can do some damage to them if they attack her. And I've still got good armor, and I've still got good things, so I'm going to finish off one of the enemies with Quincy. And so that's pretty nice. It did 192 damage, which was overkill there. And I am going to... I'm a little bit worried about Birdie, because Birdie's at 51 health, so they just did a lot of damage to her. So I could do multi-strike on the Furry Mite, which would do 90 damage to it, but instead I'm going to put haste on Birdie, which should let Birdie go again this round. And so then now I'm going to use a potion of recharging on her to get back a lot of her strength. And then now I'm going to do a swirling vines on these two, and that actually doesn't help me very much. It didn't kill off anything. And so at least the counterattack finished off that creature, and Birdie's down to 39 health. And so this is hurting her, but at least from the counterattacks, I am getting some damage from Birdie. So even though Birdie just chugged the recharging potion, she's out of mana now. So this fight is dragging on a little bit more than I would like. And so I'm trying to finish off these monsters because Birdie is out of mana, and the other ones are going to start running out of mana. And there we go, it's over. And so now I could, in theory, go through and start healing these characters, but Linus is down to 99 health, Birdie is down to 29 health, And so they're going to start sucking up lots of rejuvenation potions, which, you know, I have a fair number, so maybe I should be doing that. I don't know. Let's have a look at this again. So Linus is 2 hurt. I don't want to send him in anymore. Birdie is 2 hurt, so I don't want to send her in anymore. These 2 Strigoi are vulnerable to Earth, and I have Horatio, and he does the counterattack. So I think I will do this fight with him. That looks pretty good. And I'm going to put David in the front line, and I'm going to give him a rejuvenation potion so he can do that in the front line. And then I will put Quentin in the back, and Quentin, I'm going to give a potion of recharging, which I think I can do with him. We'll see. And Quentin's just going to do... Actually, Quentin, I don't want a potion of recharging because he's dark and that damages him. So the potion of healing is still useful for him. So we'll try to squeeze in one more battle. So this has been a day with a ton of battles. And Tate here is going to become a dancing queen soon, which is going to satisfy all of his trials, which is pretty nice. And I don't know whether I should promote him to a staff member or if I should graduate him. And I would have to retire Seth or Tate. And Seth or Ryan, and they've both only been on staff for 1 day. They need to be on staff 17 days before you could retire them. So I could retire Birdie, but I can't retire anybody else. So what that means is I'm going to graduate Tate. He's pretty much ready for graduation, but he's going to get the Dancing Queen. I was going to say he's going to get it tonight, but why don't I just give it to him right now? And so I'm going to finish off his Dancing Queen. I'm going to let him dance for 0.9 of an hour, and then he'll have satisfied all of his goals, and I'm going to graduate him. And it started to rain. I don't know how many resources are sitting outside, but they're about to get damaged by the rain if they are. Okay, so I'm going to again do Earth Armor, and along with the counterattack on Horatio, that's going to be pretty nice. And already it started. The Sturgoys are attacking him, and he's counterattacking for 192 damage, which is pretty sweet. I'm going to use Quentin for the first time to do some dark attack, and they're pretty much the same. I'll go against the one that's slightly lower health, and that should hopefully finish things off sooner. I'm going to do a water attack with David. It only does 29 damage, and so it's barely worth doing, but why not? I'm going to do a fireball with Quincy, and we're back to Horatio, and he didn't take very much damage because of his Earth Armor. And so I'm going to throw Earth Armor on him again. And he has 2 rounds of counterattack. Oh, and he's out of mana. So he used up all his mana, and he couldn't counterattack, unfortunately. So if I do a tentacle sweep on this Sturgoi, it's going to kill it, and it's not going to then counterattack me. So it was the next one that was going to attack, and I killed it, and so I don't even have to worry about it attacking now. And I'm just throwing out all the damage I can on these enemies as they're going. And it's down to 98 health, and it's trying to attack Horatio, but Horatio's out of mana, so he's not counterattacking anymore. But he did get enough mana, so he can attack now. I don't know why he didn't counterattack, but that's enough to finish it off. I guess just because his round just started, he must get the mana when he starts his round. And so there, we got some more resources, and we've cleared out another space. We're really rocking and rolling here, moving along. And I was going to say that's more than good enough for the day, but what the heck? Let's try to keep going. Why not push our luck? So we've got Quincy at full health. We've got David at full health. We've got Horatio at pretty good health, 223 out of 258. And Quentin is hurt at 84 out of 210. So I'm going to pull Quentin, and let's go with another mage. And we could throw in, I don't know. We've got Quincy, Birdie's injured, Linus is injured, Quentin is injured. So we could do Seth here and why not? Because there's no one else who's better, and I'm going to choose a potion of recharging for Seth, and they're all going to fill their mana before battle, and they're off to take on the new battle. If I jump up to Tate, I can have a look at him, and he's dancing away, and he's accumulating his dancing here to get his dancing queen, and he's really close. This might do it. And there we go. He's done his final trial. So that's going to increase the benefit that I get for his relics when he graduates. And he's all set to graduate. So let's send him off into the world as a new graduate. And I'm going to use Stuart as to help him graduate. And there's Tate right there. And I could, if I did Ryan, it would give Ryan, I think, some experience, and it would make him a little happier. And so why not? There's nothing else for Ryan to do. Or why don't I do it for Quentin? And that'll counteract, the bittersweet feelings will counteract him, because he is, he's a little bit sad from the pain that he's in. The other benefit is I get experience for completing trials when the student graduates, but then I also get a better relic. And because he's got all 3 of his trials done, he's going to get a level 8 relic, I believe it was. So that's kind of nice too. So the one nice thing that Seth does is he recharges mana, and I've been running out of mana, so that's going to be good for me to recharge Horatio once he starts getting up. I could give I could inspire one of my wizards to help them act sooner, and David is the one acting last in the round. But I don't really care too much about him because he doesn't do that much damage. But Quincy's pretty good, and Quincy's not going till the end of the round, so I'm going to actually inspire Quincy with Seth. And I'm doing this because nothing's vulnerable to electricity. His bolt spell only does 39 damage. And so this is just a way that I can, with Seth, get a little bit more damage out a little faster through Quincy. And, I'm not really sure that Quincy's still going at the end of the round. So, he has, because he's, there was a thing that Fire Wanes that gives him minus 100 speed and forces him to go at the end of the round. So that was kind of a waste, giving him inspiration. He'll do more damage, but, yeah. So I'm going to attack with a bolt, the Furry Might in the back. And with Horatio, I'm going to throw on his Earth Armor, which is going to give him armor, and I'm counterattacking when everything attacks him, which is perfect. And he's actually on a mana vein, which reduces the mana costs of 50%. And so that's perfect for him because he was running out of mana. The fact that he's on that mana vein is going to give him a lot more staying power. I can do a Torrent here with my Water Mage, which is going to attack the front and back. And I am at Quincy now, who was slowed down, and neither of these are vulnerable to fire, so I'm just going to go after the weaker one and try to finish it off. So now, Horatio is already down, in spite of being on a mana vein. He's down to 24 mana, so I'm going to recharge him with Seth. And so I'm going to give him an additional mana and put him up to 50, which is better than nothing. And then I get to go again. I believe for whatever reason, Seth was hasted because lightning waxes and fire wanes. And so Seth has gotten hasted at the start of battle, which is kind of nice. And Horatio, they've got through his armor, and so I'm going to put some more armor on him and let them keep attacking him, and he'll keep counterattacking as they do, since I just got him with some more mana, and he's down to 28 mana, so he's out and he can't counterattack now, unfortunately. But the fight is going pretty well. Seth is hurting badly, so Seth is down to 37 out of 102 damage, and David is just fine up front, which is a little bit frustrating. I'm going to do a water attack on these two to kill off the first one, so that's one less attack that's going to happen to Seth. And then I'm going to do a fireball, and it does double damage, and I'm going to try to finish off these furry mites before they can attack again and potentially damage Seth. I am going to be able to do 2 attacks with them. And so I'm going to attack this one and finish it off with a lightning bolt spell. And then Horatio has 4 mana, so he's not going to be able to do an attack. So I'm going to do a potion of recharging, charge up Seth. I could hit this furry mite with the bolt 1, but I don't want to do that. So I'm going to recharge Horatio. And then now Horatio can do a smash attack, and I can do that against this creature. And I think I'm going to hold off on that, and I'm going to do an earth attack and get it to, except I think it's going to do a mass attack, and maybe that will injure Seth. I think Seth can survive it, so I'm going to smash it. And sure enough, it did a mass attack, but it only did 10 to each of them, so that's not the end of the world. So now we're all just going to attack it, and this thing's gone, and there you go. 1 round later, we finished it off. So that's great, and we got a mana crystal out of that, which will let us make another mana lantern. And we are just rocking along through the underground, but it's about to be evening, so I think I'm going to let my fighters recreate, and I'm going to let them sleep. And now Horatio got hit by some of the creatures, and they've given him insomnia, which is a real pain in the butt. It basically prevents them from sleeping, and they don't sleep, and they don't sleep, and they don't sleep, and then they eventually after they don't sleep, they go crazy, and you need to save them from death's door, and they're permanently traumatized by it. So I want to do this experimental cure for insomnia for Horatio, but I need to have 20 mandrake root, and I have 107 of those, and I need to have 10 spore caps. And so I can get spore caps from spore shrooms, which are going to be out in the, I believe the spore shrooms are out here, and they are right here. So here are the spore shrooms. So I'm going to harvest all of them with a top priority. There's 6 of them there. And I'm going to run over here, and there's some spore shrooms here as well. And I'm going to harvest those with top priority. And I've got Tate here, who's graduating, and I'm just gonna double check. It looks like Birdie is listening, so everyone's recreating. But Stuart should hopefully go get the spore shroom, which it seems like he isn't. He's busy with a wormweed, and so I am gonna send him to harvest. Oh, okay, the reason why he's not going is we can only get these spore shrooms at night. So as soon as night falls, Stuart should head out to harvest those, and until then we can just let Horatio carry on with his life. He's unhappy because mostly because Quinn left. When Quinn retired, I guess that made him happy, but he has Restless 5, which is what's been inflicted on him by the enemies in these battles, and that is giving him insomnia, and he's also in pain because he's been injured. And so I am going to get Horatio to go, and I'm going to get him. I'm out of potions of rejuvenation, so I was going to get him to drink some potions of rejuvenation so he's not in pain anymore, but I don't have any of those. So I'll let him recreate. That'll be something at least to make him happy eventually, or at least prevent him from not not being upset. And now it turns out that Quentin and Horatio like sharing a bedroom, so that's good for them. And that'll make them happier whenever the bedroom. And night has fallen, and now I'd like Stuart to harvest the spore shrooms. And I think, of course, they've just been covered up by the fog coming in. And so now I'm going to have to push back the fog, which I no longer can do because I need a bunch of smoke sticks, a bunch of phoenix flowers, and a bunch of ice petals. So I'm in a little bit of a pain with Horatio now that I can't, he can't sleep because he has insomnia, and that's going to start accumulating for him, and it's going to be harder and harder and harder on him. So I'm going to do medical rest for him because I'm out of potions of rejuvenation, and that's going to at least try healing him up. And I'm going to try to get him to the point so that he's not in pain anymore. And the problem is his need for sleep is just going to grow, and he has insomnia, so he can't sleep, and that's eventually going to cause me problems. And so right now this is adjusting because he's not sleeping. He's not sleeping. He's just resting in the medical bed. And so it's at 36 right now, but it's going to keep going down, I believe. Maybe it still seems like he's still at 36. So this actually seems like a really good place to park him if he isn't going to, if he's not going to lose conviction. So that's wonderful if that's working. His conviction, his conviction went down to 34. So his conviction went down to 33. So he is dropping, unfortunately. When wizards sleep, their conviction doesn't change. And so the issue I'm having with Horatio is that he's healing right now, but he's moving towards his conviction, which is a little bit aggravating. He's very hungry. So I think I might actually get him to get out of the bed, and I might get him to go and eat a bitter gruel. And I'm sending him for a bitter gruel because bitter gruel gives you -5 conviction, and carcass stew gives you -10 conviction. I wish I had some honeyed gruel for him, but it looks like we're all out of that. I might be able to make some honeyed gruel with honeyed gruel, and so I'll put that to the top. And I might be able to make some honeyed gruel with so I need skill 3 to make honeyed gruel. So I could get Quincy out of bed. I think I'm actually going to do this. So I'm getting Quincy out of bed to come down and make bitter gruel, and once that's complete, I'm going to, now he's upset because I interfered with his sleep. So he worked on it, but I don't see I don't see the honeyed gruel for some reason, and it's not letting me work on it anymore. I don't know. I don't know why it's not letting me assign Quincy to the gruel pot. I really don't know. I don't know. Okay, so if we go to Horatio now. And it's not letting me assign Horatio. It's not letting me give Horatio any instructions either. Something funny is going on. Stuart I can right click with Stuart. Why can't I right click with Horatio? So if we had honeyed gruel, that's what I'd want him to eat, but it doesn't look like we do. And honeyed gruel, 0. And I don't know why with Quincy they're not letting me cook. Honeyed gruel, slop. This doesn't really make sense to me. For some reason, Quincy isn't letting me... Okay, so there I have him now. So I have Quincy, and it won't let me issue him an order on the gruel pot. It says that he's very hungry, which I could let him eat to get over the hunger if it would let me choose something. Which there's gutberry soup right here. So what? Oh, I guess the issue was I gave orders that he just eats. Quincy and Birdie just eat the rats and the crowas, and I guess they'll eat honey gruel, which is maybe good because it gives them a +5 conviction. So I could, with Quincy, give him an order to go out here and eat the crowa, and so I think I will do that. And there he's going into the dining room table to eat, and so that should make him a little bit happier. And then it still won't let me do anything with him at the gruel pot, which really doesn't make any sense. I don't know what's happening here. So all staff have access. It's 50 out of 50 durability, so it's not broken. I have all of these tasks for it to do. It's completed its... Okay, I just found out what my problem is. So it's finished everything that I've ordered. I ordered 20 gruel, and there's bitter gruel, and there's 20 bitter gruel. I ordered 21 carcass stews, and there's 21 carcass stews. I've ordered 21 gutberry soups, and there's 21 gutberry soups. And the slop and the honey gruel says 0 of each. And so when I ordered those earlier, I must have accidentally chosen do X times. I just left it at that, which is the default, and I want it to say do until. So every time I have less than 20 slop, I want it to make more slop. Every time I have less than 20 honeyed gruel, I want to make new honeyed gruel. And so now I can give Quincy an order to go and make honeyed gruel, and he's going to do so. And so now he's cooking away. And he's gathering some ingredients, and here's the cooking. And so now there is a honeyed gruel that's sitting right here in front. So I'm going to get Horatio now, and I'm going to send him down to eat the honeyed gruel, and that should make him happier because it's a delicious meal, honeyed gruel. It gives +5 conviction on its own, but then it should also make him happier because he's no longer hungry. So true enough, he ate honeyed gruel, so that gives him +5. He ate in a dining room, and so he gets +5 from that, and he just removed the penalty, the -10 penalty, because he was hungry. And so now his conviction target is 25. So that, at least now, he's not going to go on to break risk by going under 25. And so I will now leave him at that to try to heal him up a little bit. And I would love to push back this fog and try to get those spore caps, but I can't right now. I don't think I have any spore caps up in my garden, which is annoying. I do have both of these types of trees, and I have the smoke reeds, and I have the gutberries, and I have the wormweed planters. So I'm just going to leave those. There's nothing else I can grow here. And I have the bitter rice plots out here growing, which is fine. And so poor Horatio, he's in kind of trouble right now because he's going to keep getting more sleepy, but he can't sleep because of his insomnia. And so I'm looking forward to getting rid of his in pain, and he's coming out to eat again. Hopefully there's going to be a lot of honey gruel, and he can eat that. There's just one honey gruel. And so he's getting up to eat again. I don't know why he's, oh no, I'm lying. He's not getting up to eat. I was going to say, I don't know why he's getting up to eat, because he's still full, and he's not. He's still laying in bed. And so now it says that there's a break risk for Horatio because he's hit 25. And so everything together puts him right at the threshold. And so it's possible that he might break. I don't want him to break. That's going to be very bad for me if he breaks. I could save him from breaking if I had some potions of rejuvenation, but I've drank them all. So if he breaks, that's a bummer, but it just means that I will then have to save him from death's door, which I can do, and he'll then be a little bit traumatized by it, which them's the breaks. I only have one apprentice right now, so I think it would be worth getting some new apprentices. And I could I'm trying to figure out who I want to use to summon an apprentice, and I might just do Quentin. He's doing well enough. And I have the 2 lightning mages, and I don't know that I'm going to replace them. I think I'm going to try summoning another water mage, and I'm going to do it with Quentin. And what I'm doing here is David is my water mage right now, my water staff member, and I'd like to replace him with a Raven Cult mage. And so I'm going to keep summoning water mages, hoping that I can get a Raven Cult. I'm going to do the same thing for Birdie and try to get a Raven Cult nature mage. And so I'm going to start summoning water apprentices and nature apprentices. Really, I'll probably do it one after the other to try to get them as soon as I can. And then as soon as I can push back the fog, I am going to hopefully get the spore caps in order to do the experimental insomnia cure. Oh yeah, and I only have 8 out of the 10. I thought for a second I somehow accidentally got one for free, but I didn't. Okay, so we've got another water apprentice, and sure enough, it's a Raven Cult initiate. So that's exactly what I wanted. So once this Raven Cult initiate is fully trained, I'm gonna retire David, and I'm going to hire Verity, and he's gonna be my new water mage. I'm going to again use Quentin. I guess he was lucky because he got me my Raven Cult initiate, and I'm going to try to use him again to summon a nature apprentice. And I've got 5 beds here for apprentices. Up to 6 apprentices can learn at the Learning Stone. We've got a mess hall with a ton of space for the apprentices, and I've got a bunch of food to feed the apprentices. So there's no reason not to get really 5 apprentices and kind of have them all, or 6 apprentices and have them all being trained, or 5 apprentices and fill up the dormitory with the 5 rooms. Okay, so Horatio just broke because he was on the threshold. So he was at 25, which was right on the edge, and he was laying in bed. And, I maybe could have tried to get him out of pain with some more potions. I might have been able to, he was craving recreation. I might have been able to avoid this, but it would have been hard. And I don't have everything I need to cure the insomnia. So he's broken. And a number of things can happen when you break. And what's happened to him is he's got an oozy stomach. So I've lost control over him. I can't give him any instructions, and he's not going to follow his schedule or what he has a priority. But he's now going to wander around the school, and there's nothing I can do about him wandering around the school. And what's going to happen is he is going to throw up oozes when he is at he's going to throw up oozes when he moves around the school. and I'll have to fight these oozes as they appear. It looks like I'm also having to fight a gremlin appeared in my ritual room again, because I have these 2 relics that were sort of sitting out and nothing was happening with them. And I am going to attune relics to my apprentices, more to try to get rid of them than anything. And so I'm going to have to, as he throws up these oozes, I'm going to have to go and I'm going to have to destroy them, which they're not that hard, so that's not such a big deal to kind of try to remove those. And I am going to build, I seem to be really struggling with storage space right now, so I'm going to build 2 chests. 2 new chests in the basement, and there's an ooze now is in the same room as the gremlin. So I'm going to go up and I'm going to hunt the ooze with Quincy, and I'm going to keep hunting the gremlin, which I think the gremlin is already done, and Stuart is off to reset a dungeon timer, which is what I want him to do. And Quincy destroyed that ooze, but there's still another one, so I'm going to send him up here to hunt that. And I think he just killed that one. Now he's killing another one. And so we've killed the oozes, and they've left a mess that needs to be fixed up. And Horatio is still breaking, so he's wandering around the school with his oozy stomach, and he's going to keep throwing up. And I've got a new battle in level 9 battle at this animus crystal, and I can't be bothered to do that right now. I've got better things to do to try to save Horatio. I can't save him. He literally can't be saved. So he's just going to wander around throwing up these oozes like he's doing. And then I'm going off to hunt the oozes as they appear. And then once he's done throwing up oozes, he's going to collapse. And I'm going to have to rush him off to the medical room. And I'm going to have to save him from dying. He's going to be on death's door after this. And then he'll be traumatized when he's on death's door. And then he will be, he will then have a scar after he recovers from the trauma. So something's going to happen that he doesn't like. And it's a little bit of an odd thing, because basically each time this happens to one of your mages that they almost die, it basically makes it easier for them to break again. And so there's sort of this vicious feedback cycle that you can save your staff from dying, you can save your apprentices from dying, but they kind of get weaker each time they almost die. And so that's a bit of a pain. And so I liked Horatio. Horatio was a really good wizard, and he's been a good staff member, but he is soon going to be a little bit weaker as soon as he gets this trauma and recovers from it. And in short order, he's going to stop throwing up oozes, and he's going to be in trouble. It's amazing how many oozes he's throwing up. I'm just running around after him, destroying them. And I think Quincy has killed like 9 oozes. He's really produced a lot of oozes. I really wish when he was in a break like this that there was some way to save him. But so he just finished his break, and now he's at death's door. And so I'm going to send Stuart to rescue him. So the ghost is going to go and pick up the body and take it into the nursing wing, and he's going to put him in a bed. And then once he's in the bed, I can revive him. And so I can bring him back from death's door. And I'm going to use Stuart to do that. And Stuart is now going to go off and get some wormweed pods, and then he comes back and he starts the ritual. And so in another 2.6 hours, it's paused because the ritual started, but in another 2.6 hours, Horatio would have died, and we've saved him from that. but now he's going to be sort of permanently a little bit weaker. And so if we look at Horatio, he's no longer, oh, he still has insomnia. Isn't that funny? Okay, so I thought this was going to get rid of the insomnia, but it looks now that he's not. And so he has recovered from all of the things that he was unhappy about. And he's got this post-break recovery of 25 convictions. So he's going to be happier for 24 hours by 25 points. And then, he could break again. And so I am still going to need to do the insomnia, and I'm going to still need to push back the fog. So Horatio's being a little bit of a pain in the ass right now with this. And so if I had a look here, and if I look to retire, Horatio has been on staff for 12 days, and after 14 days, they can retire. So that's another option, that in 14 days, in 2 days, I could retire Horatio and train a new Earth Mage. And so that's a possibility. I am going to graduate Uhtred because he is fully trained, and I will let Quentin do it again. Why not? And that is going to get me a level 7 relic. And Verity can't get any relics right now, and Will can't get any relics right now. But I am going to go down, and I'm going to summon another Nature Mage, and I am going to do that with Linus. He's just refilling a medical bed. That's not the most important thing in the world, so I'm going to go get another Nature Apprentice with him. I could have done it with Stuart. He's just harvesting a gutberry planter, so I could have done it with him too. Linus is max level. He's 6, so he's not benefiting from the experience of it. So that doesn't really matter to me much. The fog is going to move in soon, and so then I'm going to push it back. So the one disadvantage, it's the only real disadvantage to Raven Cult Initiates, is they start off with a scar. So what Horatio is going to get from being at Death's Door, they get when they first arrive. And so we don't know what it is when they first arrive. We just know that they have some scar. And Verity, we just revealed his scar, and he hates honey drop meals. And so it just told us that. I don't know if he just ate one for the first time or how it came out, but his scar effect is that he hates honey drop meals. So he's going to get a conviction penalty each time he eats honeyed gruel, which is my only honey drop meal right now. So I am going to come in here, and it tells us a warning that he hates it. I'm just going to tell him not to eat those. So he'll eat other things, and then he will not get the penalty for that. And honeyed gruel, everybody loves it. It gives them a convection benefit. So that's fine if he doesn't eat that. Everybody else can eat it. So that's a fine scar to get from him. I have no problem with that. And Horatio, right now, he only has the scar effect that he hates simple dining, but he's traumatized by having gone through a break. And so once this trauma is completed, he's going to get a new scar. And so he will have 2 scars once he's done that. And it's because he went through that break there. The fog, as I said, the fog is going to move in soon, which I will then be able to push it back, hopefully, which is great. Stuart is harvesting from the bitter rice plot. So is Quincy. Birdie is creating a nature wand, which is fine. David is refilling the medical bed, which I wouldn't mind if David was working at the alchemist station and making some more potions of rejuvenation and recharging, but he's not doing that right now. Horatio is doing repairs, which is great. He's my Earth Mage, so I want him doing repairs. Linus is eating. Quentin is creating the quilted carriers, which he's the Dark Mage. That's what I want. And Seth and Ryan are researching. So I am going to, with David, go down, and I'm going to summon another Initiate. and I'm still trying to get my Raven Cult Nature Mage. So I am going to do, oh, and I can't summon them right now. Even though I'm going to send David, I don't have any nature wands. So I think I could use a fire wand, and if I get and I don't have any fire wands. And I was going to say, if I get a fire mage, I could replace Quincy. And so Horatio is Raven Cult, Linus is Raven Cult, Quentin is Raven Cult, Seth and Ryan are humans and Wolfkin. So why don't I summon another Lightning Apprentice? And I could potentially replace one of these, but the problem with that, what I'm saying as I go, is that they haven't been staffed long enough, so I'm not going to be able to retire them. So I'm just summoning a Lightning Apprentice in order to graduate them, which is fine. I'm more than anything trying to get up to, I'm trying to get back up to five apprentices. And I've got all of my wands here, and they're all set up to do until they're at 1. And for whatever reason, it looks like there isn't a dark wand or a fire wand here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. For some reason, I omitted the fire wand. And so we do certainly want fire wands. So I am going to order a fire wand, and I'm going to do until 1. And so then that'll make fire wands for me. And it'll use up some wood, but that's fine. And I got a shattered apprentice for the lightning, so I wouldn't even want that. So I'm going to graduate him when he's done. And I have 4, 8, 12 people. So there are 3 enchantophones, so up to 12 people can recreate. So I'm maxed out for recreation here in the dining room, but they can all fit in and they can all do it. And I can push back the fog again. So I think I will actually push back the fog right now, because that will let me go and harvest the spores that I need to cure Horatio. So I am going to go down there and I'm going to do this ritual with Quentin and Ryan, so they'll get some experience out of it. And let's push back the fog. So they're leaving the party to go down and do this ritual. And this is going to push back the fog once they're done. In a couple hours, everybody else is going to finish their partying and go to bed. But once I'm just going to let them do their ritual, and then now they're done the ritual, they can all go to bed, and we're pushing the fog back. And there are the spore shrooms now. And so Stuart's immediately heading off to get spore shrooms. He got distracted by the dungeon timer. So that's fine. It looked like somebody else started to come out and then turned around. So I guess they were going to harvest it. And then they decided to go and go to sleep. So what just happened there is he headed down and he did one ward. There's 2 of them now, and one was set at a lower level than the other. But he went and did one of the wards. Then he started going to harvest the spore, and then he turned around and he went back and he did the other ward. And so I gave the highest priority for the wards. That's kind of the behavior I want. I want him to go and do the wards, but it's not great when he's kind of going back and forth. And I'm up to 10 spore caps now. So I've got the 10 caps that I need for the ritual. And I'm looking for Horatio, which he went out to get the spore. So Quincy is here, and Quincy's in the bed healing. And Birdie is here. Birdie's in the bed healing. And David is here. David's in the bed healing. So I'm going to do this with David's bed. And I'm going to go through and I'm going to do the experimental insomnia cure. And David is a water mage, so I'm going to get him to be the healer, which it requires water too, so he can do that, but it'll also get him out of the bed. Horatio is the one who has insomnia, and then I am going to get my new apprentice to then be the healer's assistant, who it's just any student can fill that. So I'm going to begin the ritual, and I'm going to get rid of Horatio's insomnia before it starts causing me problems, which it's going to lead to him having another break risk. And it says that it cannot begin, and I imagine that's because someone was still bringing the spores back, and so that just went away, so they can do it now, and they've got the spores. And so they're doing the ritual, and they're going to cure Horatio from his insomnia, and then once I've done that, that will be a little bit of a better position. It looks like I've got some new things to look at. So I've got a statue carvery and an easel. I can't build these yet because I need sculpt stone and I need rune wood and I need ash parchment, but I love these two buildings. They're really, really, really good and fun. I also have 2 new refining beasts, which I need rune wood for both of those, so I can't get those yet. And I can now place a foundation. And a foundation is a real game changer for my school. I can't build on this grass out here, and so it prevents how big the base of my school is. But the foundation lets me build over top of this grass, so I can build my school on it. And I can spread out as far as I want on the sides. So that's kind of nice that I'll be able to start building a foundation and expand my school now if I want. So that's a great thing to research. I don't have anything new to put in the greenhouse yet. And I do have the insomnia, which is great. I would at some point like to upgrade my mage's study to a mage's tower. And in order to do that, I'm going to need it to be towered, which it's not right now, which isn't the end of the world, and skewed and pristine, which is fine. I'll need an arcane secretary, and I'm going to need 16 or more luxury, which is actually attainable to me right now. So the big thing here is towered, and the towered keyword says that it must not be adjacent to walls or rooms to the left, right, or above. And this says right now I'm adjacent to the dining room, so I suppose this is the problem. And I'm adjacent to the school room, which is here. So I have a school room above it. So I'm actually pretty close here to this being towered. So what I am going to do is I'm going to build the floor over here, which I can't reach it now because of the bookshelves, but that's fine. And I'm going to open it up above so that this room isn't above my study anymore. And I'm going to open this up here so that the ritual room is going to be near it. And I'm going to move these bookshelves up to I'm going to move them up out of the way here to start. And I'm now going to build a floor here so it will no longer be skewed. And I need it to be skewed, and so I am going to demolish these 3 walls to give me the skewed. This wall will be 3 higher. So this is all looking pretty good. to turn this into a